Hi, greetings for the day. This is Divya Madhukar, your Montessori coach and early childhood educator, and I welcome you to this segment of sensory education and Montessori. And I'm so glad and happy to have you here today's class. And what are we going to be learning in this session? So, before we get deep dived into it, I want to give you all a quick overview of what is sensory education and how our senses can actually help us. We all know about our five senses, right? We have our skin to touch, our ears to hear, the nose to smell, eyes to see, and tongue to taste. These are the five senses. So we get to explore more in the Montessori way. So, according to Dr. Maria Montessori, the sensorial experiences begin right when the child is born. Yes, it begins right when the child is born. As soon as the child is born, the child starts to cry because he is experiencing the environment around him. When the mother holds the baby in her arm, the baby is actually feeling the mother's touch. There's a sense of touch. The child uses their senses in order to study their environment. And what could be the environment? The place at which the child is. It could be their school, it could be their classroom, it could be their home, it could be the park, it could be any place in the neighborhood. When the child participates in these sensory activities, what happens? They consciously obtain clear information, and that is going to help them classify their surroundings. And once they get to understand about these information, it helps them classify and it helps them to serve these classifications being the best stepping stones. And that's going to help them to organize their intelligence, which helps the children to adapt to the environment at any given point. Isn't it amazing? Yes. So the next question is like, why then these sensorial activities are so important for us? Now, we use these sensorial activities in our Montessori classroom to help children in discrimination and order. When you enter into any of the Montessori class or an environment, you see everything is so orderly placed. And that helps the child to discriminate between the different manipulators. And it helps them to broaden and refine the child's senses because they are involved into various activities. When a child combines all these designed Montessori materials with the sensorial work, it helps them become more logical, it helps them become more perceptive, and they're so aware of what they're doing. And that's more important, isn't it? So, what's the purpose of the sensorial work? So, Dr. Montessori, she believed that sensorial experiences begin at birth, isn't it? Yes. Through the child's senses, the child studies his environment. As simple as that. We use our senses to study our environment. How easy it is, isn't it? So, through the study, the child then begins to understand his environment, the place around him, and that's the reason we call the child in a Montessori classroom as a sensorial explorer. Yes, the child in a Montessori class is called a sensorial explorer because he has that exploring quality. And when he learns everything through his senses, he begins to experience the environment and understand the environment much better. So, what's the sensorial work by Dr. Maria Montessori? So these sensorial exercises were designed by Dr. Montessori to cover every quality that can be perceived by the senses, like sizes, shapes, composition, textures, loudness or softness of the sounds, matching gradients, the weights, the temperatures, and many more. So what did we do? And what did she do? She started classifying all these exercises. Why? Because these exercises cover a wide range of senses, isn't it? So then Montessori categorized these exercises into 8 different groups: visual, tactile, baric, thermic, auditory, olfactory, gustatory, and stereognostic. So I'm going to tell you about each of these categorizations and each of the exercises that is carried out under different categories in my later segments. Okay, so what are we going to learn in today's segment? These are the 3 important things. We will learn or we will see the importance of the manipulation of objects to aid the child so that the child has a better understanding of his environment. We'll also see how a child is given the knowledge not through the word of mouth but through his own experiences. We also see how these designed materials help the child experience their senses. So this post is brought to you by TrendRent Preschool in association with International Montessori Teacher Training Institute. If you'd like to know more about our courses and the curriculum, write us an email to trendrent.education@gmail.com. I'll see you soon in my sessions. Until then, it's bye from Divya.